Pecco on the inside. Yes, it is also coming through.
And he's made up some ground, and in these conditions, if you can lead, it's such an advantage. You've got no
A couple of years ago, keep an eye on Paul Espargaro because he's good in these conditions. He finished on the podium on that day of race from 18th on the grid.
If there's anything we could have learned from the World Superbike race.
Look at this, and look at that straight away. Fabio Quartararo wasn't too happy, was he, about leading onto the straight? The thing is, Neil, effect, that's another thing, but if you're out front, you haven't got that issue.
No, absolutely, and Jack Miller, we know conditions. It's really difficult to feel the tyres, understand what the motorcycle's doing, so yeah, Jack's
Superbike came in, remember they postponed their first race because of similar conditions we've seen today, but we are
like Jack Miller's prepared to do, he will be long gone. So in the Superbike race it took them a few laps to realise.
Oh, Miller is the fastest rider on the circuit. He's doing a 141.9 to Miguel Oliveira's 142.8, and look at it, how it can turn round just with a change in the climactic conditions.
Championship leaders down in 16th, and he's lapping 4 seconds a lap slower than the top guy.
Suggested to us by Piero Taramasso when he was chatting to Natalie earlier. The other Frenchman, Zarco, of course, himself a double Moto2 world champion, who always is
now. He's going to get past Fabio, and actually both Rins and Johan Zarco have got past Fabio. He was the roadblock there.
When we come into these kinds of conditions, and the Yamaha was having problem in the wet at certain points over the 41.1 for both Jack Miller and Miguel Oliveira, and Miguel Oliveira is doing a fantastic job. He come down on this lap by 0.3 of a second.
Just looking further down the field, you mentioned
wet race. Remember in Austria last year when he stayed out on the slick tyres in wet conditions?
Already his teammate is signed up. Bagnaya's got a contract for them.
That happens if you go down the spray and people can't see you. That's why it's so treacherous in these conditions. 15 laps down. We're on lap 5 now.
Situation, you're looking at your pit board, it's going up. If you're Miguel Oliveira, you can see that you're pulling away from third. In danger, because you look at his teammate, he's got a 2-year contract. Miguel Oliveira's out.
Race winner in Barcelona. I fancied him for a shot today. That's Pecco Bagnaia. Bagnaia, who was
lucky there, looked like he locked the front on the brakes. Normally that's a face plant. He did very, very well to keep.
They are going to replace him. It better be someone good, because he's brought them a lot of success over the last couple of years. I honestly thought, Neil, even in the dry, he had a chance today, just considering how well he rode in.
He's been disappointing. You can't say he's not, since the summer break of last year. Had those couple of wins early on in the front rider, and what a time to try and take a win.
It's a fantastic point in the season. Well, it was going to be a disaster in the dry. I suppose 11th place, maybe that's possibly going to exceed 60 degrees. They've got to go with safety, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got to go fresh, including the paint on those curves.
Oh, I'm surprised at Dobby, actually, although we do know the Yamaha can be, it looks to be any damage on the bike, Neil.
No, I don't think it's hard to tell, but I don't think he'd been down the road. So
DNF to start the year. This one, though, Neil, of his own fault.
Yeah, but if it had been straight up and down, a little bit more upright, there may be a chance of saving it, but when you've got a little bit of lean angle.
Young Alice and him and his wife Andrea, of course, delighted at that, but there is Checo Guidotti, the boss now at KTM, and do you know what? We had a really good chat with him. An Italian feel to a very pragmatic squad, which was testing everything left, right and centre. And it was
in fact, let's work on ourselves and talking about the riders. You know, there's more time to come from you passenger. Yeah. Look at the lap time. So these conditions are, as you can see, incredibly wet.
For pole position, so 10% usually you'd say would be a 140 actually, and he's under. You come in these conditions because it's a new asphalt, and it's right there. This track is grippy in the damp. 60.2 from the Aussie.
Yeah, the track's coming to them a little bit. As you can see, it's still a little bit of standing.
We won it in 2020. It was in the cold Le Mans. Alex Marquez stuck it on the podium, didn't he? And looked fantastic. Alex Marquez 14th and Taka Nakagami 19th. Marc Marquez, if you have just joined us, in the hospital.
It was the right decision for him not to race, I'm sure, like you said, with a bit of concussion. I mean, it was.
Conditions were halfway through the race now. We've got a good look at how it is out there. We've seen Martin crash with that one, the little Reaper.
Track's in great conditions, and Zarco's just set the fastest lap. Is this going to be a typical Zarco race? With GP, he has to go now. He has to risk more now.
He needs half a second a lap, basically. Between turns 11 and 12, the left-right combination, and Zarco is through. And
he's up to 13th place. He's in a battle.
Into 12th now.
Into 12th, and he's in a battle with...
Up to water. I'll get my coat. Anyway, as Johan Zarco up to third. He's got Miller as the rabbit to chase down. The gap to the leader is for Portugal. Behind Miller in second, then Johan Zarco closing rapidly.
Yeah. And what's interesting is watching Fabio Quartararo. I'm so impressed with him.
And I think Silvan nailed it right on the head about his attitude, and about 7 or 8 laps ago. Well, he's back at him now, and he's all over the back of the Spaniard, and he's going to go through. And
he got on the last lap because he had a clear lap. Fastest lap of the race, down into the 38.
Bit too long. You've almost got to commit to it from a long way back, and if he had done, I think that was the case. He's got to find another way through. I think he has got more pace than Miller. Does Miller know he's there? He'll be being an interesting one though. He's just at a 1:39.5, and Miller and Zarco a 1:39.4. And
Error's wins are controlled from the front. If you think of the past wins he's had in MotoGP, he's always...
Lots of brothers, of course, in the class. Pol Espargaro doesn't like battling Aleix, but Aleix loves it. The Marquez brother, where can Zarco get through on Jack Miller again? He's just... I'm not saying hesitated, it isn't the right word, but...
Closer than that, though, if you want to make a pass stake.
Miller's not going to be easy to pass, Neil, is he?
No, it isn't yet.
Personal best lap for Fabio Quartararo, fastest man on the circuit by 7 tenths of a second quicker. I'm sorry for them that it's in these kinds of conditions, but there will be other races when everything I expect here will work. Here comes Zarco now, Neil.
I tell you what, Miller's taking some risk. He was out on the...
Things is they're on the same bike. That's another issue.
And do you know what Miller's doing? He's carrying
from Fabio Quartararo on his countryman, and the world champion is now through and up into the pole. We've got the French riders battling at the front in MotoGP again. Oh, that got close to the front tire of...
Now, carrying a lot of corner speed, but looks super smooth. Incredible.
Bottom of the... we'll get into it if it becomes an issue, but at the moment, as it stands, Miguel Oliveira, the hole is being opened for him to go through. Here we go, Quartararo's ridden superbly here. This is your work.
Back of a rider, the next corner, he's just doing a block pass after block pass, placing his motorcycle to the
Yamaha down to turn 1, but this is why Fabio Quartararo was so enthusiastic about the race this weekend. It's at 8th place, past his brother, past Aleix Espargaro. The rookie is having an absolutely... And Miller is outside the podium positions, having been leading the race. He's just dropped back steadily. Oh, look, I'm going to have to settle for this one.
Meanwhile, your championship leader, so he's up to 4
things when we're in these kinds of conditions. And, you know, how much experience have they got? Look at them wobble on from that.
Surely he's not going to risk everything, because and that's all it is. But that Yamaha was it was drifting through that section, so he's clearly prepared to risk a lot. If I was his team, I'd be saying P2 okay.
Yeah,
P2 okay. He's not even racing. 20 points today is huge.
It is, of course, Quartararo a while in this race. Just stick to that. A 1:38.9, Oliveira's up to his pace. It's not going to be enough unless in our mouth. He brought it home safely in the end. But just a moment like that could cost him. 8th spot. I thought there was going to be contact, but it's Binder leading that group. Darren Binder, that is incredible from an Enea Bastianini.
Yeah, but hey, Darren's having none of it.
Of course not.
Nothing over the
Side of Bastianini now. This is superb. But unfortunately, this battle is for 8th place. However good it is, it's been non-stop action. Oliveira out front in a league of his own. He should be able to bring it round. He's risking even on this last lap.
Incredible to be out on the curves there with the little...
Onto the left, that patch of water, every single time I see it I think, oh, don't go near it, but they just pull the bike back round. 3:12 MotoGP.
Yeah, stunning. I mean, it's a typical...
In Indonesia, in horrible conditions, Fabio Quartararo, they